guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I did for you this really fun festival makeup. I know Coachella is just around the corner coming up this weekend, so I wanted to do a fun festival makeup to help get you guys inspired. So yeah, if you want to see how I got this look, then please keep on watching. So I'm starting off with my lids already primed. I just used my concealer when I applied that earlier. And to start off with, I'm going to be going in with my Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia and using the shade Bon Fresco, which is just kind of this light dusty mauve color. And with my Morphe Y16 brush, I'm just going to be applying that everywhere in my crease. And as I'm putting this color down, I'm going to be flicking it outward towards the end of my eyebrow because we want this look to be really extreme and blown out. So I'm just going to flick it out. We also want to take the shade pretty high up to the brow bone since we are using multiple colors to layer this look, and I want to make sure that every one of them shows. So the next color I'm going to be taking is the shade Love Letter, and I'm also going to be taking that on that same blending brush and picking up a little bit of the product, and I'm going to be taking this also in my crease but a little bit lower than that previous color. So now that I have that blended out, I'm going to be taking that same shade on a less fluffy crease brush to help get it a little bit more defined and have the color a little bit more pigmented. And I'm going to be placing this in the same spots. Sometimes I feel like my makeup looks splotchy, but I think it's because you can see my veins underneath. So once I have that laid down, I'm going to be taking my blending brush again and just going over everything to make it a little bit more smooth. Once I have the preliminary crease work done, I'm going to go in with the shade Venetian Red, which is this shade right here, and I'm going to be placing this all over my eyelid. So for this, I'm going to be using a dense packing brush. This is just the brush that came with the Anastasia eye palette, and I'm just going to be patting this all over the lid. To get quicker coverage with a bigger brush, I'm going to be taking this Wet n Wild just flat shader brush and doing the same thing. And to make sure that everything blends together, I'm going in with a blending brush once again and just kind of blending throughout the crease. Now to make things a little bit more intense, I'm going into my Buxom Empty Customizable Eyeshadow Palette, and I'm going to be taking this hot pink shade. I don't really know the, oh, Bad Beauty Guru. I don't really know the names of these shades because they're all tucked inside on the underneath, but it's just the hot pink one. And I'm going to be taking this shade on my finger, and I'm going to be patting this on the center of my lid. This is actually really pretty. I'm going to take it all over my lid actually. Then as always, I'm going to blend some more just to eliminate any harsh lines. The lighting in my room is super weird right now, I'm sorry, but I really want to get this video up. And since I blended a little bit of the pigment was lost, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply some more. And then to deepen up the outer corner a little bit, I'm going to be taking this purpley, oh gosh, you can't see anything, this purpley color right here, and taking this on my outer corner. As I'm doing this, I'm kind of sketching out a little bit more of a winged shape just to get the look that I want while I'm putting this on my outer corner, if I didn't say that already. So I'm going to first start by applying it on my outer corner, and then with the excess product I'm going to be flicking it upwards towards the end of my brow bone, or my eyebrow. So since everything is so smoky and blown out, I want to add a little bit more definition. So I'm taking my MAC Pearl Glide Intense Eyeliner in the shade Designer Purple. It's just a really sparkly, deep purple color, and I'm going to be lightly lining the outer corners of my lash line and then smoking it out. Then to smoke it out, I'm using my Morphe Y22 brush and just running over top of it to help blend out those lines. And then I'm going to keep reapplying and blending until I get my desired look. I ended up just lining my whole eye with that color. It was an accident, but I kind of like the way it looks. Now I'm going to jump to the lower lash line. I'm going to be going back in with my Modern Renaissance palette and grabbing that shade Love Letter once again. And I'm going to be taking this on my Y22 Morphe pencil brush. And I'm just going to be going all underneath my lower lash line and then connecting it to our outer little area that we have been flicking up. Now this shape looks kind of crazy, so once we're done blending today, I'm going to be taking some makeup remover and kind of sharpening up that line. Now to carry on with the bottom lash line, I'm going to be taking that purple shade from the Buxom palette earlier, and instead of blowing this one all the way out, I'm going to be keeping it really tight to my lower lash line. So now I'm just taking some of my Bioderma and a Q-tip, and we're going to clean up that line so it's not so messy because I got a little carried away. And I'm just going to drag this up from my lower lash line. Now, of course, if you're going to be doing this method, I would suggest not doing your face makeup done, but my face makeup's already done because I went to school today and I didn't feel like redoing it all for this video. So now taking a really tiny winged liner brush, I'm going to pick up some of my concealer and we're going to put this on our skin where the makeup remover removes some of our face makeup. So I'm getting up sharp next to that line, and once I've got it pat down, I'm going to be taking this kind of flat line edge on my Real Technique sponge and I'm going to be stamping over it to help it blend. So now that we have that line cleaned up, it's a little too harsh for my liking, so I'm just going to be taking any eyeshadow brush and lightly going over the edges to help diffuse it a bit. So this way we still get a really nice shape, but without having a really harsh line that looks unblended. So for the inner corner, I want something really bright, so I'm going to be taking this white shadow in my Buxom palette. Also, it's a really shimmery white color, and I'm just going to be picking that up on my pencil brush and applying this to the inner corner. Now to have a little bit more fun with it, I'm going to be adding some jewels and stars to my lower lash line. I just have this little nail art kit that came with like a bunch of little things that I got from Daiso. And I've never tried this method before, but I want to go ahead and try just because when I stick things on with lash glue, I have lash glue stuck to my lower lash line for ages. So I'm going to be trying my NYX glitter primer. And I'm going to place a little dot of this on the back of the jewel. And then I'm just going to stick this in the middle of my lower lash line. Then next I'm going to be taking these little gold stars and I'm going to also be placing these under my eyes. I'm going to put some of this glitter primer on the back of my hand and then I'm just going to dab the star in it. And since these are so tiny, I'm picking them up with my tweezers and I'm just going to place these all under my eyes. There's not really any rhyme or reason to where I place the stars. I just kind of put it sporadically underneath my eyes. Then to finish off the eyes, I'm going to be going in with my Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. If you guys want, I think this look would look great with falsies. However, when I go to festivals, I don't really like the feeling of lashes on me just because I don't wear them all the time, so they can be kind of uncomfortable. But yeah, so I'm going to be applying this mascara to my top and bottom lashes. So I did already start off with my face makeup done just because I went to school and ran some errands today, but I do want to add a few things. I want to add a lot of glitter, so I'm going to be taking the Urban Decay Naked Illuminator. And this isn't a highlighter I wear on a daily basis because it is so glittery, but it gives the most intense, beautiful highlight. And I think it looks so pretty in the sun. Like, look at that already, it's insane. So I'm just going to be placing this on my cheekbones and around my temples. And then for lips, I want to keep it nice and nude, so I'm going to be taking my ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Aquarius and just lining and filling in my lips with this. Okay guys, so that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think it's a really fun way to do your festival makeup if you're really into going all out. If you guys are worried about the jewels and the stars sticking, I would suggest using lash glue because nothing's getting that off. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Please subscribe and all that stuff, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.